Thanks so much, Matt. Matt was just talking about the height and weight. The FBI is using next generation identification software to help identify the armed suspect. Our next guest says that this new tech could be used to uncover even more clues to help crack the case. Cybersecurity expert and former FBI counterintelligence operative Eric O'Neill joins us now. So, Eric, let's talk about this technology, this generation identification. Could this be helpful in getting the height, the weight, the circumference of this suspect?
Certainly. Good morning, Lawrence.
Good morning.
It's certainly part of a mosaic that the FBI will use. NGI's foundation comes from the old fingerprint database, and what it looks at is biometric data. So think things like those old school fingerprints, but also palm prints, facial images, and even iris patterns. So it allows law enforcement to take an image of a suspect and then run it through a large database to find a potential match. So when we're looking at the Guthrie case, it can also analyze things like facial geometry, and that would be the distance between your eyes, your nose shape, and the depth and size of your face. Now here's a problem. Through a mask, we're mostly limited to visible geometry, so things we can see with the mask, like eyes, nose bridge, mouth shape, and of course the shape and depth of the face. Now the FBI also has a unit called FACE that stands for the Facial Analysis, Comparison, and Evaluation Unit. And they use this special unit to compare an image to things like a driver's license photos. They have a massive database of driver's license photos. So here's what I think they do. They use NGI to find partial matches with face against known individuals, but then they need more evidence before they send a SWAT team to someone's house. So with the situation with the delivery driver whose door was raided by the FBI's HRT team yesterday, I suspect they used NGI to get a composite image of a potential match of the suspect, ran it through their NGI database, and then used the FACE unit to look at driver's licenses, found a number of someone who was a partial match, then used other things like telemetry from cell towers. And because this guy's a delivery driver, he was in the area at some point, and they thought he was a good person of interest. I'm sure there was a tip as well. But the point is that the FBI uses all these things, including an analysis of height and weight, which I'm sure they have, to come up with the idea for a potential subject.
So, Eric, you were referring to the HRT team. That's the hostage rescue team for our audience. But can I drill down on those known individuals? Because most of this technology uses these AI databases to gather this information. But when they're using AI for this, the known individuals that you referred to, are these people with criminal records, or are they using tools such as they do with the genealogy searches from the private sector that is a wider database?
You're exactly right. So they're using AI to do a lot of the database research, but they have access to more than just mugshots. So the NGI is specifically looking at biometrics related to mugshots and other information, but the FBI also has access to a massive database of driver's license information and other information that they can pull from. So if you have a driver's license and they have a composite image of you, they can run it against all those images to try to find a potential match. And so many other things that they're doing. Like, for example, the FBI will have used that video that we're looking at to create a gait analysis. The images go out to the public, and with the reward that's also set, the FBI and law enforcement is probably receiving countless tips that they're trying to run down. Then you have witness interviews and good old school investigative techniques, and you marry up the technology with the old school sleuthing, and you can start to find persons of interest.
Real quickly, Eric, why don't we have a full diagram when it comes to this suspect, weight, height, and all of this? Could this be they're still running the tools? I mean, we saw this with Brian Kohlberger. We thought that the case was cold, but it wasn't cold. They were just waiting to get the data back from the genealogy. Could that be the case here when it comes to his full workup?
That's certainly true. This isn't like the movie Minority Report. It isn't a swipe and it happens. It takes time to put this all together to make sure that they're accurate. And before they release that information, they want to be completely right. And I'll give you one more little clue that they probably have that they haven't released. When a Nest camera records that video, it is also recording audio at the same time. I would bet that the FBI has audio related to that video that they haven't released. The only reason they wouldn't have it is if somehow the audio was separately corrupted from the video when they recovered that video. But I would bet that they have the audio, and because that particular Ring camera has a battery, it's very possible that as that criminal carried the Ring camera with him, it recorded additional audio after he ripped it off the wall.
Such important information. Eric, thanks so much for joining us this morning.